How can we use responsible AI for talent retention? So in our world, in the extended workforce, you spend a lot of time talking about talent acquisition because, let's face it, that's a big part of what we do. And, what about retention? Are there any thoughts, just real briefly, on how it can be used for retention?
Retention is probably the biggest, I think the biggest thing that HR organization tracks or should track and kind of be rewarded for. But using AI within the sense of guiding, like say you are running surveys, you're doing exit interviews and all that, and that data is being fed into AI, and AI is able to guide the hiring managers or hiring leaders, saying, hey, here's certain things that will help you retain people, these kinds of maybe behavior or these types of approach, or this, creating this type of environment within your team and all that. So within those guidelines, yeah, it could be very helpful, because yeah, I mean, that's one thing people do struggle with, right? Like humans, we actually struggle with hiring people, and we struggle with kind of having these two lives, right? At home, I am not worried about retaining my kids. Yeah, they're, but at work I am, and I have to behave in certain way, or I have to think about being a leader, what my responsibility is to retain somebody. And as a leader, it cannot just be like, get the work done. I need to meet these deadlines, and I have a board meeting. So, I mean, like, yeah, there is definitely a role for AI, but then again, that's where responsible AI becomes very critical. It becomes heightened critical, because if
Sure,
you
sure.
feed wrong data, then it can be pretty bad. So.
What I'm also thinking is, and it's very applicable to the conversation, and obviously to the name of your company, is, if you're managing talent pools, you could argue that that's very similar to retention. You want to keep the candidates engaged. You don't want them wandering off, and all of a sudden you have an opportunity, and next thing you know, they're not available because you weren't able to engage them.
When it comes to this retaining employees, I think it's a beautiful tool. It's a very powerful tool. I think HR managers should rely on. Usually, they're a little behind on these things to ensure that, and this can potentially give them tools to engage ahead of time. It's not necessarily, you don't have to necessarily spy on, but you can absolutely understand the needs of the people and predict it ahead of time, and also provide tools for them to retool themselves, or even allow them to apply for better opportunities in the organization. So there's many use cases people can actually utilize AI in HR for retention purposes. I think it's underused right now. If you ask me, I think it has a huge potential for HR departments to use them more appropriately. HR conventionally has seen as more compliance department than a business partner. I think now many companies are realizing it and empowering their HR as a true business partner in the business.